I'm teacher Robin. Welcome to another live streaming class. If this is your first time to join us, let me explain how the classes work. Today, our topic is how to make the most of the ABBA English course. If you have a question during the class, write your question in the comments and I'll answer it at the end of the class. Before we get started with our lesson today, let's quickly review what we talked about in last class, just in case you missed it. Actually, Teacher Dell told you about tricky prepositions. So you looked at how to learn prepositions, what is the best way to memorize them, and to tell the difference between different prepositions, and you looked at some specific examples of to and from and of, in, at, and on, and then into, one word, and into in two words. So if you missed the class and you want to watch it, go to the video section of our Facebook page, and there you can find all of our previous classes. So you can watch them again, you can pause, take notes, share them on your own Facebook page, or tag someone you think might want to watch the class. All right, so today our topic is a little bit different. We at ABBA English want to give you a little bit more information for those of you who have never used our course before, specifically the app version. So we have someone very special joining us today. I want to introduce you to one of my co-workers. This is Julien.
Hi, Robin.
Thanks for joining us today, Julien.
Hi, everybody.
So I have brought Julien into the live streaming class today because he works in our tech department, specifically on the app, the mobile version of our course. So first, Julien, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Where are you from? How did you learn English? And what is it that you do here at ABBA English?
Okay, so as you can see in those three images, I've come from France, where I've always been living until I did 1 year with the program Erasmus in Ireland, where I learned most of my English vocabulary. And why the Android guy? Because currently I'm working in ABBA English as a mobile developer for the Android and iOS app.
And you actually use English here at work. That's the main language that you use in your job. So it's actually really important. Okay, great. So I see we have Habib joining us. He says hello and great teaching. Okay, thanks for watching. Please feel free to write anything you want to say in the comments, and we will get to you throughout the class. I also have some questions for you at the end of this lesson, and you can write your answers in the comments as well. So today, Julien and I are going to tell you more about the ABBA English app. All right, so let's start with the ABBA course menu. So imagine you download the app from the App Store or from Google Play, right? Depending on whether you have an Android or iOS. Let's go through first. What is the first thing that you do to set up the course for yourself?
Okay, first let's speak about the profile screen. Here you can find all the information you have been registered with. You can also correct some configuration, like receiving the notification, use the mobile light app to download the unit, and stuff like this. All the part of your profile and your subscriptions.
Okay, so once you've created your profile, or as you are creating your profile, you can, if you have a problem, you can write a message through our help center. So what exactly is the help center?
The Help Center is there to help you with all your technical questions. There is a few articles, but also if you're really stuck, you can also send a ticket to our teams that will answer to you as quick as possible.
Yes, okay, so help is always available as you are registering for the course. I see Wissam and Dima and Sariq have said hello, so thanks for joining. All right, let's continue. So our course is made up of different levels. So here on this menu, you can see the different levels of the course. Our course goes from beginners to business level. So here in this menu, you can see a description of each level and actually what specifically you're going to learn in each level of the course. So if you're a beginner, what topics are you going to cover in the beginner level, etc. And we also have a level test, right, Julien?
Exactly. You can do it at the beginning when you register from the web and the application, but at any time you can change from this screen your level if you think that it's too simple or too difficult for you, the level you are currently into.
Okay, so we have a really good question. How long does it take to get assistance? This depends a little bit, but normally the same day, within 24 hours, you should get a response from our support team. Okay, so now that we've talked about levels, let's move on to certificates. So once you complete one entire level, you have to go through all of the units and sections, which we'll tell you more about in a few minutes. But once you complete a level, you can actually get a certificate. So that certificate is available in the web or the mobile version, and you can download it, and that way you can use it if you're applying to study abroad, for example, or if you want to live in another country or improve your job. You'll have this certificate to certify what level of English you have. All right, and now let's talk about the different course units. All right, so what is this menu?
From this screen, you can actually see all the units. The units are how the course is organized by level and unit. And as you can see here, for example, this user finishing the first unit of this level, which is lower intermediate, and he has now to continue with the watch, the unit 26.
Good, so you can actually see your progress as you go through the app, so we know, okay, I completed this unit, now I'm ready to go on to the next one. All right, so now that we've seen a little bit overall the ABBA course menu, we're going to focus specifically on each section. So our course is made up of 5 sections, and the first section, well, first you have this menu which shows all 5 of the sections, so you have to choose which one you want to study first, but obviously we recommend going in the order as you find them. All right, so the first one is the ABBA film. So Julianne, what do they do in the ABBA film section of the course?
So starting any unit, you get an ABBA film. The ABBA film is to train your listening skills. You get a little scene with actor who will speak in English about using especially some expression or vocabulary of the theme of the unit in order to really get used to listen to English. You can also specify if you want the subtitle in English or in your own language.
Yes. All right, so once you have watched ABBA film, the short film, you're ready to move on to the speak section, okay? So what they need to do in the speak section?
The speak section is really the continuation of the ABBA film. You are listening to the film, and now it's about to repeat and to compare yourself with the actors to see how is your accent, how your fluency and everything. So every time, for every sentence that the actor will say, you can repeat it, compare with your own voice every time, or continue to the next one.
Great. Okay, so once you've completed the speak section, you're ready to review the grammar from the ABBA film. So here you have the video class. In the first unit, I actually teach the video class, but there are other teachers who teach the classes as well. So here a teacher will explain the grammar from the ABBA film and give you some examples so that you understand it better. So once you have watched the entire video class, you're ready to move on to the vocabulary section. So how does this section work?
For the one who really know the application, this is similar now to the ABBA moment. So you get a question about the vocabulary you learn with the ABBA film, the speak and the video class. For example, here, the weather, how to speak about the weather. So every time you have 3 options, you need to choose the one who suits.
Okay, good. And so once you have completed these 4 sections, you're ready to do the assessment, which is like the final test at the end of the section. Okay, so basically you answer 10 questions. They could be fill in the blank or they could be multiple choice questions. All right, and that is the end of the unit. So I see that Florencia says the improvements look awesome. Yes, you can see that we have made some changes recently to our app, so I'm glad that you like them. All right, great. So now that we've looked at the different sections of each unit, let's look at one more thing that you can use on our ABBA app. Okay, Julianne, what is that?
It's the ABBA moment. It's a new way to learn that we have right now in our application since quite little time now. It's about little pills of learning every day. If you have 5 minutes, you can do one. Every time about one subject, and it's vocabulary. So the same way that the vocabulary in unit, you can hear every week new content about a specific
topics.
Yeah, okay, great. So now that we looked at the different ways that you can use the course, I want to focus a little bit on the natural method, because this is the method that our course is based on here at ABBA. So what is the natural method? When I say natural method, I mean that first you listen. In this case, it's to an ABBA film, but imagine you're living abroad like Julian did in Ireland. First you listen and you start to repeat what you hear, and then you learn the grammar. You start to read and write. Okay, so this is sort of based on an immersive experience, which I think works really well, right, Julian?
Yeah, that's it. The way the course is constructed is really to imitate the real life. You have the film who is like saying of the life, then try to speak, and then you finally are able to be fluent and use it as a daily basis on your work or in your life.
Great, exactly. Okay, so now that you know all of the options available to you in the course, you might be thinking, okay, how can I organize my time? How can I make the most of this app to improve as quickly as possible? All right, so what are some of your suggestions as a former or continuing English student? How can you make most of the course?
The thing is to find your own routine. Like, for example, every day I will do 20 minutes. Or when I'm in the metro to come back from work, I will do an ABBA moment, a part of speak or whatever. That's the thing. There is no timer in our application, so you can do it whenever you feel like, for how long you feel like. But it's important to be regular in your work.
I think it's important to mention as well that in addition to our app version, we also have a desktop web version. So if you want to dedicate a little bit more time sitting down at your computer, you can do that. You can study on your app while you're on the metro or you're on the bus, and then when you get home, you can connect to the campus and you can study a little bit more there. So as Julianne said, establish your study routine, and you can also take advantage of our live streaming classes. So twice a week now, you can connect to Facebook and watch our classes, which are on different topics about grammar, vocabulary, conversation, etc. All right. So one last thing, you might be thinking, okay, if I study from an app, then I'm kind of alone. I'm by myself. Who is going to help me if I have a question? Don't worry, okay? What can they do if they're studying and they have a question?
Two things. The first one, if it's a technical problem, you have, as we talked about earlier, the Help Center, which is the way you have to go, both on web and mobile app, to find answer to your question. And the second thing is contact your teacher through the campus.
So if you are a premium student, you will be assigned a teacher, and you can write to this teacher through the campus. You can send them a message, and they will respond to you as quickly as possible, so that way you have support. If you're studying and you feel like you don't understand something, you're not alone. You can always write to your teacher, and if you have a technical problem, you can always write to our support team. Okay? So now I'm going to ask you 3 questions related to what we've just talked about in our lesson, and you can write your answers in the comment section. Okay, so first question, do you use the ABBA app or the campus? So we heard from some people like Florencia, they've said that they use the app. So tell us about your experience. We want to hear, do you enjoy it? What changes did you make? What do you like? What don't you like? Basically, what is your experience with the ABBA English app? Okay, second question.
What are the advantages of studying on your mobile phone for you?
Okay, yes. And finally, what is your study routine? So do you think it's better a few minutes every day, in the morning, in the evening? How often do you study, where, etc.? So tell us a little bit about your study routine. Maybe you can give us some tips about what you think is best, all right? So we have a comment, should we always listen to classes with headphones? I guess this depends on where you
situation. If you are people at home, you can use directly your tablet, your mobile, or your computer. But actually, if you are in somewhere there is a bit of noise, it's better like this.
Yes, obviously, if you're on the metro and you want to watch the ABBA film so you don't bother other people, maybe put your headphones on and listen, and that way you'll hear it more clearly and you'll make sure that you understand everything, okay? Great question. Someone else says, is it possible in your application to pause and come back? Yes. Can you explain how that works?
Of course, the progress are always synchronized, both in campus and the phone. So wherever you stop, when you come back in the app, it's still the same progress.
Okay, great. So I will answer a few more questions in just a minute, but as you are answering or writing your comments, I want to tell you that after everything that all the information that we've given you about the course, if you're interested, then we're going to post a link to our website. There you can sign up for the course. So I've given you a lot of information. One more thing I should mention is that you can sign up as a free student and have access to all of the video classes as well as the first unit of each level. If you then decide to go premium, you'll have access to all of the course content and you'll be assigned a teacher. So we mentioned that you have access to a teacher who you can write to anytime you have a question. So we've also said that it's very flexible. Your progress is saved on your PC, your Mac, or your desktop. So it's a really flexible way to study anywhere and anytime. I think we forgot to mention one thing earlier about the offline mode. Can you tell them?
Of course. Also, the mobile app, when you premium, you can download a unit to be able to study it later. For example, you go to holiday, you know that you will not get Wi-Fi, you don't want to use all your data. You can download it from your home or your house and then use it later.
Yes. So there are no excuses to not be able to study wherever and whenever you are. Okay, someone has asked, what's the difference between the desktop version and the app version? Okay, what would you say is the main difference?
Actually, they are quite similar on the functionality. You can have access to curves, the ABBA moment. The only thing is that you can contact the teacher only on the campus, so on the web. Otherwise, it depends on you, how you feel like working, sitting on your desktop or in your sofa with your mobile.
But the sections are the same, the units are the same, the content is the same.
And the progress are the same.
Okay, so I want to also mention that in addition to our course, we also have some other resources that you can take advantage of to improve your English. We have our blog where you can find articles about grammar, culture, English for business, for travel, so all kinds of really interesting topics. And on our Facebook page, we have our live streaming classes. Now we're doing them twice a week. So check the calendar on our Facebook page because the schedule does change to accommodate many different time zones. So check those out. And you can also see new content on our YouTube channel and our Twitter page. Okay, so all of those resources you have available to you. And now it's time to answer more of your questions. You've already asked many. We have one question. They say, where are you from, Julien? Maybe they joined us a little bit later.
Yeah, nothing is really related to the app, whatever.
Yeah.
I come from France, so that explains my accent. And for the even more curious one, from the east of France, the northeast.
Okay, very good. Oh, sorry. Yes. So someone said the grammar is advanced or basic. So we have 6 levels of the course. So you start with the basic grammar and then you move on to the more advanced grammar. So you have a little bit of everything in the course. And as we said, if you aren't sure what level you have, then you can take our level test and it will assign you to the correct level.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, so as you're writing more of your questions, let me tell you about what we're going to talk about on Tuesday. We're going back to a more vocabulary-related class. The difference between the verbs make and do. Many students ask. Yeah. All right, now we can see it. Good. All right. Many students ask about the difference between the verbs make and do. They're very similar, especially in other languages. So we're going to tell you about how to distinguish when to use one or the other and give you some examples as well as some phrasal verbs with make and do. Okay, so this is our next class. Don't forget that you can also turn on your Facebook notifications in your settings to receive a message anytime we're live streaming. So there are plenty of ways to remind yourself about the classes, but remember that we're doing them twice a week now, so there's even more content for you to enjoy. All right, let's look at if there are any more comments. Good conversations, and he said thanks both teachers. So Julien is not a teacher, but he is today. You're my co-teacher for this live streaming, so I appreciate you joining us. Okay. Let's see if there is another question. I hope that this has given you a little bit of an overview. If you had any doubts about the course, then maybe this will clear up some of those for you, and you can decide if you are interested in using our course. Be sure to check it out. You can definitely see in the free version, and then you can decide. All right, so I think we will wrap up for today. Thank you again to Julian for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's been great having you, and I hope that you can join us next week. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.